Hi there. No. Will Merab be able to wrestle the title away from O'Malley, or will the Sugar Show produce another scintillating viral knockout? It's UFC 306 Noche. This is Fighting with Friends. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Noche is upon us, and it takes place at the Las Vegas Sphere at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. That is, of course, South African time. With me, as always, today, ladies and gentlemen, breaking down this card, I have the reigning, defending, of course, vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia.
Yes.
What's happening, Brother Gaia?
Yo, super amp, bro. UFC 306 at the Sphere. 1-1. This is going to be one of the big cards. Looking forward to it. My brain has been exploding thinking about these fights. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, also with us this evening, we have this man is still undefeated as a father. You might know him as Mr. Brazil. It's George Jefferson, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jedi Knight.
Yo.
What's happening, George Jefferson?
Yeah, no, things are happening. Theo, what's this? 6 amped.
Yeah, 306.
306. It is 306, in fact. And boys, as always, we're going to start at the top of the card, where we see Sugar Sean O'Malley, who is 18-1, arguably undefeated, depending on who you ask. He, of course, has 12 wins by KO, is on a 7-fight streak, last time outclassing Chito Vera by unanimous decision. And he's making his second title defense against Merab Dvalishvili, who is 17-4 on a 10-fight streak, dominating Henry Cejudo in his previous fight. Sean O'Malley is the 1.75 favorite here, and Merab is starting at the 2.05 underdog. So, gentlemen, I am so solidly on the fence with this fight. I have no idea. Ross, we were talking about it before we went on. Ross, I'm going to go to you, Brother Gaia.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, just to reiterate what we were talking about off camera that Ed is referring to is that both of us are trying to rack our brain in this matchup and having a difficult time sort of picking that clear-cut winner because it's hard to sort of to see that because both guys pose the exact threat that can beat one another. You know, Merab has all the right tools to be the one that can beat Sugar Sean O'Malley. And the same thing can be said for Sugar Sean. He's got the exact set of tools that can beat someone like Merab. That's what makes the fight very, very intriguing. Because the part of me is like, oh, Merab's gonna just go out there and out cardio this guy. You know what I mean? Out wrestle him, out grapple him, and just ragdoll him. But he has to obviously get through that distance first. Like Mike always says, close the void and then get to the opponent. And Sugar Sean O'Malley is probably one of the most difficult guys to actually get hold of. Like to hit him, to grab him, he's like it barely ever happens. His absorption rate of shots is so low. He's really, really gets touched by anyone. So for that, it's like it's a bit of a puzzle to figure out for Merab as well as for Sugar Sean, because like I said, Merab is very relentless, and you know that he puts himself in the line of fire to go and get his results. It's just so difficult to see. So what my conclusion was is like whoever essentially puts their game plan and executes the game plan the best is probably going to get the victory. And so what we're going to see in this fight, just me spitballing here. So what we're going to see, you can't if no one gets knocked out very early. You're probably going to see a fight of the two camps sort of adjusting to one another's game plan throughout the 25 minutes. What I'm really interested to see is if or when Merab gets Sugar Sean down, what happens then? You know, because Merab is not necessarily the most decorated finisher. You know, even though he's on 10-fight win streak, a lot of it is unanimous decisions and like completely just mauling his opponent to the point where they don't have anything going forward. They can't necessarily beat him. He's granted Marlon Moraes was close enough to almost knocking him out. Even Henry Cejudo had knocked Merab down, but like Merab had said in one of his interviews, people get knocked down in fights. If you put yourself in line of fire, you're going to get knocked down. So Merab, for him, it's about closing that distance and executing what he does best, which is obviously, we know, the wrestling and combat sambo. And then for Sugar Sean, using his lateral movement, keep Merab guessing which side he's going to come from. And Sugar Sean can attack from anywhere, like any stance. He can throw any sort of limb from any stance, and that's what makes him so super dangerous. And he's super, super active. And that's why I'm having such a difficult time choosing the fight, choosing the winner here, because I can see both guys doing enough to get themselves a victor. It's just about, like I said, who executes game plans and who's able to adjust in fight. He's going to be the one who probably gets victorious in this fight here.
Yeah, I agree with you 1000%, brother Guy, and it is an absolutely nearly impossible fight to call from our perspective anyway. But I'm sure Jedi looks like he's feeling a bit different over there.
Please, Jedi.
Look, it's a. I think it's an even fight. It's like a pick'em fight. I don't think Merab is totally gonna be outclassed here. For Sugar Sean, other than Aljamain Sterling, like he didn't really fight any good wrestlers or grapplers. Like Aljo would have been now like the main test, but obviously Aljo went in there thinking it was very disrespectful and was obviously like just thinking he's gonna ragdoll Sugar Sean, but overcommitted and lost. So I'd have liked to have seen the rematch, but that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about the best friend trying to revenge his brother and take the title, right? So the smaller guy, but with the same caliber of wrestling now, do you think Merab is like a Dagestani wrestler?
You asking me or Eddie?
It's crazy that you're asking that question, because this is like exactly the same lines that the conversation was following off air. But brother Guy, I'll let it go to you.
I wouldn't look. We know he's got the sort of similar attributes, but there is a bit of a difference to it. I would say that the difference is when you secure the takedown, right? Because if you look at Merab, I would say that what he has different over the Dagestani traditional wrestling that they do is that Merab, he's got this transition wrestling and transition submissions, as well as the relentlessness. The man shot 45, was it 46 takedowns against Peter Yan in 25 minutes. That's a lot of
that's
takedowns.
Peter Yan also. It's a different beast.
So just hang on, Jedi. So you don't respect Peter Yan's grappling?
No, I'm saying Peter Yan is the best in the division. That's obviously my pick. That's always been.
But what I'm saying is, because you said that the only grappler that Sugar Sean's faced is Aljamain. So you don't rate Peter Yan's grappling?
No, I do rate Peter Yan's. Dude, I think Peter Yan was robbed in that fight. So I don't think Sugar Sean deserved that win. And I've always felt that way. And that win actually shot him to number one. That he was my title contender. Like overnight. He went from 10 to 1. So no, he didn't even win. So he's the champ.
But to answer your question, to answer your question with Merab, I think he uses, if you watch some of his footage where he does combat sambo tournaments, that's how he fights in MMA as well. It's a lot of the aggressive forward pressure punching to close the space and then start to win the wrestling and sort of look to control guys and win on that kind of points, because that's how the tournaments get scored. But if you look at like the way Khabib, the way what's his name, Islam. If you look at how they wrestle and how they control guys on the ground, Merab doesn't do it exactly like that. He's a little bit different to it. Like I said, his number one weapon is his gas tank. So Merab is the kind of guy that will transition with you on the ground so much that you will get confused to the point where, he's just going to tire you out and ground you pound to the point and get his finish. Or maybe look for that submission. Whereas the Dagestani wrestlers, they look to control you and then finish you and get you done right there. Don't give you a chance to get up. They suffocate you. You're not going to get a chance to move anywhere. And I think Merab doesn't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
He just tires you out by clinching and wrestling, taking you down, picking you up, strike, pick you up, put you down again, and just make you exhausted to the point where you can't fight him back. And that's usually how he gets his wins. So that's the difference
Okay.
I found.
So, and then with Sugar Sean, he's just gonna stand on the outside and kickbox.
Yeah, he's probably gonna look for knees. He's probably gonna look for that kind of shot. Probably take out Merab's legs. Probably take out Merab's body. He's been talking a lot about looking for left or right knockout. Choose, guys. What do you guys think? Left or right? And he's been doing this the whole time. So, yeah, I think he set those hands up. He's probably gonna have to attack Merab's legs, because if we don't take Merab's legs out, or his engine,
It's
which
gonna
is
be a long night.
he's gonna strike. Yeah, because Merab's you can bet your whole house he's gonna be relentless. You can bet your whole house.
Yeah, so there we have it then, bro. I think Merab's gonna decision this, bro.
You think so?
I think he's gonna win by decision, Merab. Yeah, unless he
Alright.
like comes in hot in the first round or two and does what Aljamain did, where he like Aljamain was first controlling the beginning parts of the fight, and then he started like following him, and that's where I think he got lost in the feints, and he just couldn't keep up with the footwork of that brew. O'Malley. So I don't think Murab's gonna do the same thing. I think Murab's gonna kind of force him to circle one way and then cut him off. You know,
I do think
that's how he's gonna
Merab.
do it.
I do think Merab, and I could get shot here in the comments for this, but I do think Merab is a better wrestler than Aljo.
Yeah, I think so too.
You used to think so. I think
Yeah.
he's a bit of a better
Yeah, I
wrestler than
think so
Aljo.
too. It's more of his go-to, where Aljamain will still want to stand and box and do all
strike with
kinds
you,
of
yeah.
other things. Yeah.
Big
And I just
statements
think
here.
it's more natural. But Aljamain's also been a wrestler from that was his base. You know what I
That's
mean?
his
That's what
base.
he
Look, he's
started with.
world-class wrestling. He's top notch, but I just feel like Marab's wrestling game is so much more polished, man. Like he's cleaner with getting his takedowns. He's cleaner of defending takedowns and sort of mitigating sort of dangers when it comes to grappling. Whereas Aljo, we've seen him scramble a lot of the times. We've seen him sort of push for the takedown to the point where he puts himself in too much danger for it. And I think Marab's a little bit cleaner with what's the word, shooting for his takedowns. He doesn't put himself in a bit of danger as much as Aljo. You know, that's why I think it's a little bit more cleaner. And like Eddie was saying, sorry, my last point, like Eddie was saying, is that Sugar Sean has been taken down by Peter Yan quite a number of times in their fight.
Bro, Peter Yan schooled that man. I don't even understand.
You know,
schooled him.
So Merab, I think, and we saw what he did to Peter Yan again. So I think,
Yeah,
it's a very good stylistic matchup here, and either one
Mm-hmm.
can go with it. But I'm gonna, my heart wants Peter Yan. My heart wants Merab to win it, but I'm gonna say Sugar Sean gets it done third round.
Ooh,
Third round.
yeah,
controversial.
I'm going. So me, I'm not tied to any of these dudes. I don't really care who wins it because I don't like both of them. So I'm gonna go with Murab on a
Merab.
5-round decision for me. Yeah,
Okay,
it's gonna grind it out.
Merab decision. So, brother guy, how does Sugar Sean get it done? Is it going to be another viral KO for the lads?
Look,
Or do you see him
you know what?
possibly pushing a decision with Merab?
I don't know about the decision. Actually, you know what? I think he can go, especially the way he went with 5 rounds with
Cheeto.
what's his name?
Cheeto.
Cheeto Vera. However, Cheeto
Yeah,
Vera
but
was
Cheeto doesn't
Cheeto
shoot.
is
Bro.
durable though, bruh. Cheeto don't get knocked out.
don't get knocked
He's
out.
like
Yes.
Roberto Duran,
Scientifically proven,
like South
bruh.
American kid. Yeah.
And also Cheeto Vera doesn't apply
Just
pressure in
like
the same
this
way
wide.
Merab does.
Yeah, now they're completely different fighters, but
With the-
I'm just
so
saying in
Merab-
terms of durability, there's like Cheeto Vera's up there with the
Yeah.
top, bruh.
But the reason why I'm pointing that out is because we saw Sugar Sean go 5 rounds there. However, we saw Sugar Sean go 5 rounds with not being pushed back as enough that maybe Merab would maybe push him back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Cheeto Vera doesn't
That's
forward pressure
gonna-
the same kind of way. You know what I mean?
This
He's
is
not going to
gonna
get
be
you going
different.
backwards. And however, that being said, something about me just thinks that because I saw Merab get dropped by Marlon Moraes, he got dropped by Henry Cejudo, he does have it in him he has to close the distance to get there, and we know what Sugar Sean can do. Sugar Sean is very quick and he's very smart, and now he can.
Yeah, nah, that
Oaks
dude's
down.
feints, bro.
His feints is
Crazy.
sick, absolutely
Crazy.
sick. So I can see I can see 5 rounds decision for Sugar Sean, but I'm not going to go with it. I think that's the least likeliest result for Sugar Sean. I can see him getting the finish round 3 or 4.
All right.
Yeah.
Round 3 or 4 finish for Sugar Sean, according to Brother Gaia. Like I said in the beginning, I am solidly on the fence here. But if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, I would go with Sugar Sean. But more about that later, boys. We're going to keep it moving now. And of course, we're going to the women's flyweight division where we have an epic trilogy here, boys.
First
One
time
for the ages.
It's the first time in history.
These women seemingly
First time in history,
intertwined
what?
by destiny, right?
Women trilogy fight. It's the first time there's
Is
a
it?
women trilogy. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But anyway, we can come back to that. I
Okay,
almost feel like Amanda
let us know in the
or
comments.
Shevchenko has done a trilogy, or maybe even Rose with somebody. But anyway, Amanda for sure has fought somebody 3 times. Also, I know
We'll have to get in touch with the stats department and find out.
Let us know in the comments.
That dude
or let us know in the
from the
comments.
other show.
Yeah. Anyway, women's flyweight title on the line. Champion Alexa Grasso, the 1.75 favorite, 16-3-1, coming up against woman who needs no introduction, arguably the queen of women's MMA, Valentina Shevchenko. We're starting as the 2.05 dog in this fight. She, of course, 13-4-1. Both of these women last time out fought to a draw. Before that, Grosso beating Shevchenko by 4th round submission. All right, boys. So another epic fight on the cards here. Jedi Knight, what are you thinking here, bro?
Just to clarify, I mean the stat guy from that comment
from the previous video, yeah. Muay Thai for life 304.
But anyway,
shout out Muay Thai for life 304. Vale. Please go ahead.
Jedi.
What's happening?
Oh no.
No, Eddie's asking you, what do you think about the co-main event? What's your thoughts on that fight?
Okay. I hope you guys are there. So anyway,
yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's happening?
We can hear you, bro.
Okay, cool. So for me, epic trilogy for the ladies. First one, I think. At first, I was like, to go back to the first fight, I didn't give Alexa Grasso much of a chance to beat Valentina. In all honesty, I honestly didn't think she was gonna win. I thought she was just gonna get like pieced up, right? But she made me a believer in that first fight already. So in the second fight, which was a very close fight and went to a decision, no, what was it?
Draw.
Split.
Draw, yeah.
Draw.
Decision,
draw. Was it draw?
Yeah. Yes, it was a draw. Can Jed not hear us?
I think his internet might have a problem.
Jed, we can hear you.
Refresh.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Just try and refresh, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go to you, brother guy. Just keep it
going
for us.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm actually sharing the same sentiments with Jedi. Because I also didn't give Alexa Grasso the chance, not because I didn't think she was a good fighter or anything. I just thought that you were still up and coming. She was going on a streak. But Valentina is just has such a massive body of work. It's difficult to bet against it. You know what I mean? She's done so much in the UFC. She's competed on 2 different weight classes and went toe to toe with arguably the best women's combat athlete of all time in Amanda Nunes. So it's like, how do you actually bet against Valentina, right? But first thing I noticed in the first fight was Alexa Grasso had more power. when she landed her boxing combinations, it made Valentina think twice about engaging. However, Valentina was still winning that first fight up until she did the spinning back fist. She wasn't outright winning it, but she was ahead of some of the most of the exchanges. And obviously got caught out in that rear naked choke or face crank. And then in the second fight, I don't think it was completely a draw. I felt like Valentina again has done a bit more to have won that fight. However, not a lot more. Because she did get dropped by Alexa Grasso in the second fight. Alexa Grasso switched to southpaw, which she didn't do in the first fight, and that changed a lot for Valentina. She was like, "Oh my word, you know what I mean? What now?" And you could see that Valentina took a lot of time to adjust to that, but she did nonetheless because Valentina started initiating all the grappling exchanges. I feel like she's a little bit of a better grappler, but Alexa Grasso, people need to start realizing that she's a lot more powerful than what actually meets the eye. She's quite physically imposing, and for that, it's again one of the like the main event is difficult to kind of choose. Again, I want to go Valentina Shevchenko is going to get it done because I want to say she's the better fighter, the more decorated, the more powerful. But she is 36 years old. This is a final run if you think about it. And Alexa Grasso is the new breed. She's the new light. She's got the youth, and I don't think she's afraid of fighting Valentina. So again, also on Mexican Independence Day, again like the previous fight. How do I see it playing? I can see it going through to the 5 rounds again, even though both fighters can get the finish, but I think it's going to go 5-round decision. And I'm going to go with to Valentina because she knows this is a last shot. I think she's going to go and get that bullet. Valentina Shevchenko over 5 rounds.
Yo, big call, big call. Yeah, like I said, Valentina is starting as the underdog here, which is, I'm sure, she finds very offensive, having been in the game for so long. But yeah, to be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna disagree with you there, and I'm gonna go for Grosso. I just, like you said, the points that you were raising there. She's the younger fighter. She's not afraid of Valentina. She's never lost to her. Valentina's. But as I'm speaking here, I'm kind of thinking Valentina's gonna be so hyped to correct that loss, right? So yeah, it's just again similarly to the main fight. It's just such a difficult fight.
It's hard to
call,
choose.
bro.
It's because they're that good, bro. They're just that good, and they're both like phenomenal fighters. And like the last 2 fights showed that, like they're very evenly matched. And that's what makes it difficult to choose, man.
Yeah, the bookies are gonna have a great time with this pay-per-view, I imagine. Jedi Knight, I see that you're. Anyway, Jedi Knight will be. Jedi is just having some technical difficulties. He'll be back with us shortly.
Yeah.
The CBS reports. Brother Gaia,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned that Valentina to get it done by decision. What do you think are her keys to victory here?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
He can't hear us.
What if you take out your headset and just go without your headset?
I told him already. But anyway, I'll communicate with him on the chat.
Yeah. Keys to victory and why I think she'll get it done. When they were standing, right, the only thing that Valentina was really needing to watch out for was the power of Alexa's boxing, right? So it was getting knocked down, or she took quite some damage from the boxing exchanges. However, Alexa Grasso doesn't utilize sort of deep kicks or low carb kicks or anything to sort of. She's not adding more to the puzzle that she is, right? She's just a very good boxing stance. Whereas Valentina, she she does spinning back kicks, she does the oblique kicks, she throws the kicks to the calves, high kicks, jabs, very strong jabs. The only thing that maybe will be a disadvantage for Valentina is that she doesn't switch stances very well. She sticks to southpaw only. You don't see her go to an orthodox stance. So I think that may be at a disadvantage. But I think if Valentina can get to a rhythm, which I think she will do, she's gonna control the dance. And I don't think Valentina will be afraid of the grappling. So what's gonna happen is you can expect Valentina to sort of initiate the grappling exchanges, and she can take Alexa Grasso down. She's done it so many times already. So I think she's gonna be the one to mix up that very well, and that's probably going to be the one that she's going to get the dub over the 5 rounds. Look to strike, and you can sort of look to Valentina to shoot at least once in each round. At least once in each round, she's going to probably do it that way. I don't know if she can knock. I don't know if she can knock Alexa Grasso out. To be honest, I don't know if she's got that power anymore to do it.
Mm. All right, got you, bro. Loud and clear. So, brother Gaia going with Valentina to get it done by decision. Yeah,
Bullet
just again,
Valentina.
bullet Valentina, indeed, bro. So yeah, just again a fantastic fight, and for me, on the fence, too close to call,
You're not
boring,
gonna
but
pick. You're not
yeah,
gonna
it
pick.
is what it is. I did say Grosso. I did say Grosso.
Huh?
If you're gonna put a
Okay.
gun to my head, I'm gonna say Alexa Grasso, but
Okay. Lekker.
again, it's just one of those. It's just one of those fights, bro. Similarly to the opening bout. But anyway, bro, we're gonna keep it moving now to the what might be potentially fight of the night. Um,
Absolutely.
this fight was, of
Yeah,
course,
must that
supposed to
whole one.
happen at UFC 303. Jedi, if you want to give a very quick synopsis of what you think is going to happen with Valentina and Alexa, you may go ahead.
But I think I I'm a big fan of Valentina's fighting style, and she was the queen there for a long time. So I was very thrown aback when Alexa beat her the first time. But she made me a believer in the second fight, and I think she's gonna 3-0 her.
Okay, so me
3-0.
and Jedi in the same boat, so we can lock that in for the multi boys. Okay.
Yo,
All
that's
right,
mad decisions. Go
but
ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
we'll get to the picks a little bit later, boys. But like I said, potential fight of the night on the cards here.
Agreed.
We have Brian Ortega, who is the 2.4 underdog. In the previous fight, he started at as the favorite. He's now the 2.4
Yo,
underdog. He's 16-3. Last fight beating Yari Rodriguez by third down sub. Diego Lopes coming in as the favorite as the 1.57 underdog. 25-6 on a
crazy.
five-fight streak. Last fight beating Dan Ige by unanimous decision. Dan Ige, of course, taking that fight on just a few hours' notice. So for me, guys, and I don't know if you share the sentiment here, but
Yo,
I felt like Diego Lopez didn't look that good against Dan Ige. I know that there was a lot of issues regarding weight cuts and things like that.
mm, mm.
But do you guys think that we can kind of can we make a judgment on Diego Lopez's performance against Dan Ige? Is it fair to judge him on his performance that night? Brother Guy, I see you shaking your head. What? So
I
please go
don't
ahead.
think so.
Mm,
It was a 3 week notice fight for both those fighters, and because there was supposed to be a different fight on that card. It wasn't supposed to be the two of them, and both gentlemen didn't make the weight very well. And imagine having to go through 3 weights in 24 hours and then make a fight, and then and then show up and get. That's why Diego even came out in the interview and said that he knew he wasn't going to be able to last, so he felt like pushing the pace, getting the fight job done in the first 2 rounds. Obviously, didn't get that job done in the first 2 rounds, and you could see the result of it. He looked completely finished after that, and then you see Dan Ige was closing down the distance and putting the punishment
mm,
on him. So I don't think you're going to see the same. You're going to see the same Diego Lopez in this fight. I think you're going to see a different Diego and Brian Ortega as well, coming into this one. So both guys had a very good camp, from what I could see in the interviews and build up to this fight. So I expect them both to be in the tip-top shape. Now, how do I think the fight plays out? There's a lot of hype around Diego Lopez, and he's also well deserved. The man, we know how good he really is. Although he's only ranked number 13, um, he's like you said it yourself, Eddie. He's coached a lot of the fighters in the one, excuse me, in the UFC. He's also in Alexa Grasso's corner. I've watched him coach the fighters on the UFC Tough House the latest season as well, and also his fight style, dude. The man's got insane wrestling and jiu-jitsu, especially chain jiu-jitsu. And then also he's no noob to the feet. The guy's got some good finishes on the. I think he's got 12 wins by sub, 10 wins by KO. You know what I mean? That's like Drickus kind of numbers, dude. You just finishing people in 25 fights. I mean, that's a lot of finishes in 25 fights. You know what I mean? And to be doing it in
absolutely.
that and to be doing it in that kind of consistency. And then 15 first round finishes, bro. Like this man looks to put people away very quickly, right? However, all that being said, I'm still gonna go with my man T City Brian Ortega to get the win here. And I'll tell you why. Because Brian T City Brian T. City has been in there with the old dogs of dogs, right? And the man hasn't been finished, if I'm not mistaken. They all beat him up pretty badly, but they didn't knock him out. They haven't
Yeah.
submitted him, right? They just beat him up really badly. And what that shows us is that Brian Ortega has got an insane amount of durability and he's no stranger to the feet as well. He can box, and he can also wrestle. He's also got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and we also know how brilliant he is at doing at submitting people. And one thing's for sure, Brian Ortega is an absolute pit bull. The guy is not afraid to go and look to hurt people and get finishes and to put himself in the land of fire. So I think if he can survive the onslaught in the first 5 to 6 minutes of the fight, which we know Derek Lopes is going to do, I think Brian Ortega is going to be he's gonna look to finish in the later rounds. I'm not too sure. But this is a 3-round fight as well, so that changes a little bit of the dynamic here. Because Brian, I think, is a bit of a he comes into the fight into the second round onwards, not necessarily the first round. He's a bit slow to start. And I think that's where Diego Lopes is the most dangerous. Is in the first round and a half, 2 rounds is where he looks to hurt people really badly. But I think if Brian survives that, I think Brian Ortega gets the finish.
So Brian Ortega finishing it in which round do you think?
I think he gets the job done 3rd round.
KO or sub?
Submission.
Ooh! Major call, bruh. Yo, I was actually gonna ask about that. Who you guys think is superior in terms of the jiu-jitsu? So Jedi, let me go to you with that. Sorry, Ross. I'll come back to you in a second.
Go to Jed.
Jed,
Yeah,
I'll
I
come to
think-
you with that question first. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fun fight. It's again like the Gilbert Burns and Tom Brady was
Sean Brady.
like the old school. Huh?
Sean Brady.
Yeah, that guy. It's like the old school versus the new school guy. Me personally, I hate to shit on the Brazil guy, but like I don't rate Diego Lopez right now.
Yo, that's so
That's
hard,
shocking.
bruh.
For
That's
a
so
long
hard.
time.
That's shocking.
I don't think he's a top guy for me yet. That's probably why he's number 13. And I think that Brian Ortega may not have been as active, right? But I think Brian Ortega is definitely better than Diego for me everywhere. Everywhere. The only question is going to be a question of cardio, like who's going to push the pace and be able to keep that pace all the way through. In terms of finishes, I would love if Brian can sub him in the first round. That will be so mad.
In the first round.
In the first round,
Would be crazy.
but like a armbar.
Sheesh.
But I think Brian Ortega by decision. Just
Decision.
I think decision. The only thing that is playing with me is what Ross said is that Brian. I think like Brian probably knows he's better than Diego, and he mustn't wait for Diego to try and come at him and then like react or even respond to what Diego's doing. I think Brian just has to go and fight. You know what I mean? He must go and put the pressure back on him. Or if he's clever, because Brian is a very slick guy like that. He'll kind of let Diego take the lead so that he can set up a finish or a choke or whatever. But Brian of late, what was that fight? Who did he fight? There was this one fight.
Rodriguez.
But he pushed an insane pace.
Yeah. He first took damage in that fight. Rodriguez was kicking at him really hard, like really hurting him, and then you just saw Brian was like, okay, I need to finish this man now.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I feel like he was forced to close distance in that fight because if he stayed at range, Yayo was gonna kick him, bro. He's gonna kick him to a different planet. So he kind of had to close the distance there. Whereas I think Diego is a bit of a different puzzle to figure out. So I don't know if he's gonna feel as pushed. I do agree with you though, Jedi. I do agree that he has to put the pace on Diego because if Diego comes out and he starts to get the wind in his sails, bro, he's gonna be very difficult to stop. So I do agree with that 1000%. So yeah, boys, any final thoughts here?
I would love to see it go to the ground. I want to see how they
It's definitely going to the ground, bro.
I mean, you know, you got two jiu-jitsu guys. Maybe they nullify each other, and it's just a striking fight. But yeah, hopefully it does go to the ground. But
it's definitely gonna go. And I'm telling you, Diego is gonna be the first to shoot.
To shoot.
Also,
One more factor one more factor I want to add is Brian Ortega has gone 5 rounds multiple times. We've shown it even when he was taking damage, he still completed 5 rounds. And we haven't
Yeah,
seen Diego Lopes do 5 rounds in the UFC yet. Because he
yeah,
hasn't had a
that's
Is
true.
this
chance to.
five
Is it not a
rounds?
5 round? No,
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
five
It's not.
rounds.
It's
Okay.
not a 5 round. I'm just saying, like, I'm bringing it up because I'll be very surprised if I see Brian Ortega get gassed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
I'll
I
be
see. I
surprised.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
Hmm.
point. Fair point. Okay, boys. So I think that we are all in agreement on this one, so we can absolutely
For
lock
the
that
first
in for
time.
the parlay, gentlemen. All right, boys. Let's keep it moving, and this time we are going to the lightweight division where we see Daniel Zellhuber, who is the 1.4 favorite, 15 and
Mhm.
1 on a 3-fight streak in the UFC. His last fight against Francisco Prado, winning by unanimous decision. He comes up against Esteban Ribovics, who is the
Mhm.
2.87 underdog, 13 and 1 on a 2-fight streak. Last fight won against Terence McKinney by a spectacular first round head kick KO.
Yeah.
I actually checked that out last night. It
Yeah.
was
Very cool.
quite a sight, quite a sight.
Yeah.
So yeah, brother Gaia, your thoughts on this one, brother?
I think this fight's gonna probably be a stand-up war. Even though Daniel Zellhuber does have a little bit of a ground game, but I think his best strength is his kickboxing, his Thai boxing, and also how he utilizes his front kick. He's got a very good question mark kick. He uses TT people as well, and he's also very quick with his hands. As for Esteban, also very good stand-up fighter, good boxer. Like you just mentioned, his high kick over McKenna was absolutely brilliant. Coming this fight, he's a bit of the shorter guy, and Daniel Zellhuber is also, I won't say more active. They're kind of evenly active in terms of how often they throw their strikes and how often they push their combos. I just wonder, is Esteban going to have an issue with the length of Daniel in this fight? I think that's obviously a big factor here, being at 6'1" at lightweight. That's that's a scary height for that
That's
division,
massive,
and
yeah.
it's very tall, dude. It's very tall for that division. And also, like I said, I watched him in that fight against Prado. I was like, the way Daniel uses the way his shot selection does it is very creative, and he's confident in doing it. So it's gonna be this fight's gonna be explosive in terms of these guys going into look for the knockout. Both guys only lost once, and they're both very good finishes. So very good fight to watch out for in terms of a back and forth striking exchanges. I don't think either of the guys are going to shoot for takedowns. If it goes all the way, the one who shoots is probably going to get the win. But I can see Daniel Zellhuber winning the. I can see Daniel Zellhuber winning the fight over the course of 3 rounds due to just outstriking him, being a better
Mm,
striker.
fair comment, brother Gaia. So Daniel Zellhuber going to decision there, winning by decision against Esteban.
Mhm.
Jedi Knight, you had a right old chuckle to yourself there. What's on your mind, bro?
No, he lost us again. Yeah, he lost us again.
Did I?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so.
Wi-Fi, bro. Yeah.
Nah, okay. Yeah,
I'm
to be
But you
gonna
honest,
know what?
go with Daniel
Uh,
Zellhuber.
you're going with Daniel. Okay. She's also gonna go with Daniel. It sounds like
okay,
the thing
Jedi
is,
Knight.
the thing
Daniel
is,
Zellhuber.
the thing is that I've seen Daniel take shots before, and he gets rocked. And Esteban's got a freaking packer punch, bro. The man's got a he can hit fucking hard, and
Daniel Zellhuber, yeah.
there's a chance he can knock Daniel out. But Daniel's very slick, dude. His movement is absolutely amazing. He's got just footwork, or great footwork,
Mm.
excuse me. And I think he's just gonna get the hype of a Mexican Independence Day around him, get powered up by the Aztec and guards, and he's gonna go out there and put in a performance.
Sheesh. Yeah, that sounds like a vibe, bro. I think you've absolutely convinced me with your choice of words there, bro. So yeah, I think we can once again lock that one in for the parlay, boys, and that means we'll keep it moving to our next fight here, where we go to a flyweight bout. We have Ronaldo Rodriguez, who is the 1.72 favorite. He's 17 and 2. His last fight winning by second round
But
submission against Dennis Bonda. He's coming up against the Jamaican Osbourne, who is the 2.10 underdog. He's 12 and 7 with one no contest. He's on a 2-fight slide.
his
Last time
internet
we're
is
losing
terrible.
Mm,
by first round submission against Yafael Pastor Filo.
yeah.
Um, So yeah, I don't know too much about these guys. Jedi, I'm not sure if you are with us at the moment. No. All right.
Can't
So,
else.
brother Gaia,
Yo,
as far
I'm here.
as yeah, all right. What are your thoughts as far as this one goes, bro?
Okay, cool. Just watching some tape on the gentleman fight because I haven't like I think Ronaldo's only fought once in the UFC, and as in for Odie, like you said, 2-fight losing streak, and I watched his fight against Filio, and I just thought he had a tough time in terms of the grappling exchanges. There, Filio looked very confident in that fight. But going to this one, it looks pretty even in terms of how the stylistic looks up. Both guys love to be on the outside and look to bang. Ronaldo Rodriguez, a fun fact I found out about the guy is that he's actually one of Devin Haney's training partners. And if you look at his
Yo.
training, if you look at his training tape, the man has got slick boxing combinations. He's fast. You know how the boxers hit the pads, they like machine guns.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he's super intense, super blitz, and that's what you can expect from these flyweight guys. So what I'm gonna say here, I think this fight's gonna be a stand-up war like the one above it. And again, whoever's smart about game planning, if I know my guys he's an all-out stand-up kind of guy. If I'm Ode Osbourne here, I will look to introduce some of the wrestling as well.
Mm,
Stand, but kind of strike with Rodriguez to the point where you're not necessarily trying to look to finish, but you're looking to push Rodriguez to the cage and then start wrestling with him and then, rack up those points and get him to think about other kind of stuff other than just boxing and kicking each other. So
yeah,
for that, I would love to see Ode utilize that kind of game plan. I'm not sure if he's going to, but I'd love to see him use it. This is obviously going to be a very explosive fight. I would love to push the pace. But if I'm going to pick a winner here, I'm probably going to go with Ronaldo Rodriguez. He's the more explosive fighter. He's got the more speed, and he's the better boxer. And for that, I think he's going to land a knockout blow.
fair point, brother guy. Fair point. Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about these guys, but just looking at the tail of the tape here, I see that Ode Osbourne does have quite a big reach advantage. So
Mm,
I imagine he'll try to make the most of that, try to stay on the outside and
absolutely.
avoid Ronaldo's explosions.
That's his
So
style.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, I'm not really qualified to make a pick here, but simply because of the reach, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with Odie Osbourne here. But that's
Sheesh.
pure speculation.
Sheesh.
And I do love an underdog from Jamaica, Jamaica. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think then we'll keep it moving. And there were a few honorable mentions that you wanted to get to. We'll
Yes, yes,
begin with
yes.
Irene Aldana, who is 15-7. She's coming up against Norma Dumont, who is
Mhm.
11-2. This is a pick'em fight at 1.9. Brother Gaia, what are your thoughts here, bro?
As it's funny that they're making it a pick'em fight. I mean, okay, Norma has been on a 4-fight win streak. She's fought against some of the top ladies in the division, not necessarily the top of the food chain, but she's fought some good fighters in Carol Rosa and Chiason. But this is going to be the first high caliber opponent in Arena Aldana for her. And Arena Aldana, her last outing was for the title. She lost it unfortunately, but she lost to the best of the best of the best in Amanda Nunes. So they're going to this one. It's 5 versus 8. I do think that Arena Aldana is the taller fighter. If I'm not mistaken, she's got a bit more of a reach advantage. And she, like I said, she's just a better boxer. Norma's really good at kickboxing and utilizing some clinch work. She loves to get up to the cage and work in the clinch as well. But I just think Arena being in there with the dogs. I think if any woman fights Amanda Nunes, um, you learn something about yourself after you take a beating from her. So I think Arena
Mm.
Aldana is like,
Yeah.
listen, there's levels that I really have to get at. You know what I mean? And I do think being in the training camp with Alexa Grasso as well, I think she's just looking to go back at the title. And I also think that she can actually. I feel like Ronaldana can take out Raquel Pennington and Jessica Penne, if I'm being honest. Jessica, what's her name? Not Jessica. No?
Raquel
Juliana.
Penning.
Juliana and
Yeah.
Raquel. I feel like
Oh,
Ronaldana can actually take the two of them on. So with this fight, you look for Arena to initiate the boxing exchanges and win in that kind of way because that's how she gets most of the wins. I don't think any other woman can hit as hard as she does in that division. And you can look for Norma to utilize a lot of kickboxing, a lot of front side kicks, leg kicks, and then get close with elbows and then get into the pocket. She is a shorter fighter, and she's gonna have to do that. But she has to be wary of Arena's boxing, man. That like
Mm.
Alexa Grasso boxing camp is something else. So my pick for this one is gonna be Arena Aldana gets the job done over the course of 3 rounds.
Arena Aldana getting it
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Um, okay, so Irina Aldana by decision,
by
and then
decision.
yeah, and then we'll keep it moving then to the early prelims
Yes,
in the
opening
bantamweight.
bout.
Yeah, the opening bout in the bantamweight division where we see Rahul Rosas Jr., who starts
Mhm.
as the 1.12 favorite. Yeah. Absolutely, like he's the biggest favorite on the card. He's nine and
Yeah.
one. His last fight beating Ricky Turquoise by second round sub. He's coming up against Aoriqileng, who is the 6.0 underdog here. So 6 rand for every rand you bet, basically, which is absolutely ludicrous. But anyway, 25 and 10. So he's quite an experienced fighter.
Yeah.
I checked his last fight, but all I could find was that he could not continue against a man
Mm.
named Daniel Marcus. So I'm not sure what the circumstances were there. Maybe you can provide us with a bit more insight. I'm not sure if you know.
I yeah, honestly, I don't know too much about this guy. I can't even say his name to be completely honest
Yeah,
with you. But
it is a bit of a nightmare, but we do our best here, of course, at the
so
CBS.
I'm not actually going to attempt. I'm just gonna say my guy Ling. I don't know much about the guy, but what I do know is that he's from China. He's from China, yes. Our guys from China, they utilize a lot of boxing. Right, they're very good at boxing, and then they obviously have their wrestling exchanges as well. But mainly their boxing. It's what they rely on. I think he's got 8 first round finishes. So that or eight wins by knockout. Excuse me. So he looks for knockouts. But Raul Rosas Jr. is the favorite. You said he's the overwhelming favorite in this one. I think that's because of the hype that he came in with. He was a younger guy. We also know that he's like we know what kind of style is that. He's all gas, no breaks, very relentless. He's looking to end his career before he reaches the age of 26. That's what he came out in interviews. That's what he said. So he's looking to go in and get to the top as quickly as possible and then retire as quickly as possible. Now that
Mm.
being said, you and I can recall a fight where we saw Raul Rosas in a fight. You thought he was going to go in there and just be the explosive dude and be the guy until he had a rude awakening and got outboxed by what was his name? Uh, his, na- his name is also Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez
Mm.
quickly took him to the dance and showed him, hey, there's levels to this. So
Yeah.
for that, what I'm trying to say is, as much as he's the overwhelming favorite, and we kind of see his relentless pressure, and he's very good and he's strong, and we get all of that. He's got the youth on his side. He's going up against someone that's got a lot of experience, even though I haven't seen much about him. Someone with experience, obviously, that means you know how to fight. You've been in the game. He's got 25 fucking wins. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he also goes in there and schools Royal Roses Jr. However, that being said,
Sheesh.
UFC has had has made it what's the word? They've they know which opponents to give to Raul, and that's not. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
saying, oh, they handpicked his fights. They're just giving him matchups that will give him a chance to show his skill set.
Mm.
It's not going to be a guaranteed win, but it's going to give you a chance to kind of show us what you're all about, right? Why this hype is around you. So yeah, I think it's a good name to watch. Obviously, a very good name to put on the early prelims on Mexican Independence Day. Yeah, he's the kind of guy you can pay to sort of you can bet to bring fireworks and sort of get the hype going for the fight card. So a very good curtain raiser, I think, over there. And I expect Raul Rosas Jr. to do what the UFC expect him to do, and that's to get a win.
Mm. Yeah. Fantastic opener. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, bro.
Mm.
Um, I'm thinking about putting a slight degenerate bet on the other guy just for the sake of, you
Are you
know,
serious?
yeah, just for dramatic effect,
Ew.
make the event slightly more exciting. But speaking of placing bets, brother Gaia, it's time to pay some bills.
Do it.
Okay, so we are back with another segment of As a Betting Man. And what I have locked in here on the screen at the moment are brother Gaia's picks from the okay, so Osbourne as well. Sorry, Rodriguez as well.
Excuse me.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we are running a bit over time. So brother
Mm.
guy, I just wanted to confirm your picks for the parlay here before we lock it in.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we're locking brother guy in for 10
Sugar
rand,
Sean.
and that yeah, so that's Sugar Sean, Valentina Shevchenko, Brian Ortega, Daniel Zellhuber, and
Osbourne.
Ronaldo Rodriguez.
Yeah. And then Aldana. But I don't even want to bet
Yeah,
on that one. But that's the
yeah,
fight.
yeah. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, I said Aldana as well.
All right, and
Uh,
that is a combined odds of 47.38, which is absolutely crazy, but crazier things have happened. We're gonna lock that in for brother Gaia. All right, brother Gaia, may the force be with you with your parlay this week.
super excited, bro.
Away, and that about covers it from us, myself, brother Gaia, and of course Jedi Knight, who is still here in spirit with us, and I'm sure that he's taking care of his family. But yeah, brother Gaia, that about covers it from us. Again, we say thank you to everyone who has supported the CPS reports thus far. We finally reached, what was it, 3,000 views today?
Yeah, 3,000
3,000,
views.
3,000 views, guys. So, yo, 3,000 views. Shout out to everybody who watched, and yo, a massive shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to you guys. Guys, thank you so much for the support. Enjoy the
Yeah.
fights once again. It's happening on Sunday morning at 4 a.m. South African time. For myself, brother Gaia, Jedi Knight, we are out, ladies and gentlemen. Much love.